Good evening. I'm William Ferguson. This is Common Sense. Tonight, let's throw a wrench in the gears. The other day I was cleaning my bike, washed it and waxed it and all the rest of that. And I was thinking, what can I do as a subject? And I thought, a lot of times when we're going through life, somehow a wrench gets stuck in our gears. And so it stops everything that we're doing. But then we soon get out of it, and the gears start rolling smoothly again. And people don't understand that some of the things they're doing aren't very wise. They're throwing a wrench in their own gears. Let's take a look at this one.
So everybody I just listed and every organization I just listed got banned from all of social media. Does that bother you?
That seems like a personal problem.
It's personal.
Yeah.
That you don't care about one political ideology being banned from the internet.
I don't really care, no. Doesn't bother me.
Okay. If you had to choose one prominent person to be banned next, who would you choose?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very feminism-like and tolerant. What have I done to deserve to be banned?
You're just a nuisance. That's just
I'm not bothering anybody.
No, I'm just saying you're a nuisance. I'm not saying
So because you don't like me and you think I'm a nuisance, I should be completely deplatformed from everything, not have a voice.
Especially Twitter. Yeah.
All right, here you have it. Kent State liberals, feminists supporting my deplatform from social media.
I'm all for standing up for what you believe in as long as you're not an asshole about it.
Okay. So what is deemed as a asshole?
I don't know, whatever you stand for.
Okay, so everybody like me should be censored.
Yeah, that's fine. No, pretty much.
That's very tolerant, very empowering to other women, so I do appreciate that.
Uh-huh.
Do you consider yourself a feminist?
Define feminist in your terms before I agree to that.
What is a feminist? You believe in equal rights for men and women, and you support women, you lift them up.
Yep.
But you support me being censored.
Yeah.
All right, we got some cognitive dissonance right here.
Sorry. Had to fix myself there a little bit. Anyway, talking to people on a college campus, saying that people that are conservative should be silenced. Well, that's going to come around someday and bite that person. Because somebody's going to want to silence them. Because they don't like what they're saying. So, it's going to throw a wrench in their gears. Because that could come back around to bite them. Now this next one, this one's really a wrench in the gears. Are you ready for this? This was a good one too.
Our religion is, priority.
For almost 2 years, Fartun Hussein has worked at Diane's Fine Desserts in Lysander.
I just don't understand.
That is, until Monday.
We feel, hurt, and we feel, this is not right.
She, along with more than 30 other Somali workers, women and men, walked out because their company forced the women to change out of their burqas, a traditional Somali dress. Women are no longer allowed to wear dresses that go below the knee after a woman's burqa got caught in a boot washer 2 weeks ago. She wasn't injured, but the new dress code conflicts with these women's religion, which allows only their face and hands to be seen.
We want to work hard in that company. We want to produce, product. We have a family to support. We have to support ourselves.
They don't like our color or they don't like our religion, I think so.
A woman's skirt was caught in a boot washer, and she potentially could have been seriously injured. And we're just not going to live with that.
Really? Okay, if you notice, the woman said that we have to take care of our families. Really? So, your religion is more important than your family. You can't change your clothing so that you're wearing pants, slacks, sweats, or whatever, down to your feet, which would cover down to your feet, as the Quran says to. But you can't do that, because your religion is more important than even your children, your family. See, that doesn't sound right to me at all. It sounds like they're trying to play the victim and say, oh no, we have to wear the burqa. You're working in a food industry, making food, and your boss, following FDA, Food and Drug Administration regulations, says you have to be clean. Or in other words, who knows what you were walking in outside, so your boots have to be clean. Makes sense to me. And you want to complain that you have to wear your skirt down to your ankles because your religion is more important than feeding your family. That's sad. That's really sad. It really is. All right, now this one reminds me of the gay couple that went to get a cake baked, a wedding cake for their wedding, two gay men. Only the baker said, that's against my religious setting. It's against the morals that I've been taught. It's against my religion. And I understand that. Because God doesn't want gays, lesbians, or anything else of that sort. It's wrong. It's immoral. Okay? So, the baker had a right in this country to say no. Because the Constitution is based on biblical principles. Okay? And this one, it's kind of a slap in the face to this baker. And let's watch this.
They didn't realize it was run by a Muslim. Before it came time to bake their cake, the couple found out about the woman's religion and cancelled their order. Muhammad was immediately incensed by what she read. Describing what the unnamed soldier's wife told her as hurtful, the irony of the situation was completely lost on the Muslim baker. With a genuine apologetic tone, the military wife said in a private online message to Muhammad, "Hey, actually we're going to order our cake somewhere else. My husband just found out you're Muslim. And I'm not against it, but he is because he was in Iraq fighting for our country against your people."
That makes sense. You can throw a wrench in those gears any day. Any day. But the question is, will the Muslim baker take it to court and say, no, they have to have their cake baked by me because I'm Muslim. They can't be prejudiced against me. He was a veteran of war in the Middle East, fighting ISIS or Al-Qaeda or whoever else it is that are Islamic Muslims. Therefore, he chose not to have his cake baked by that baker because she represents the enemy he was fighting. I agree with him. And I believe I would do the same thing. And I would expect if I was getting married that my fiance at the time would say the same thing that his wife did. It was an apology. It was written kindly. And it was written so she would understand. You know, we're going to get to that here in a second. And this last one is basically what I consider the media's wrench in the gears. Because it seems like whenever anybody does anything that anybody can judge somebody else as being prejudice or whatever, the mainstream media will jump all over it and say that's wrong, that's bad. And by doing that, they are the ones that are pushing the prejudice narrative. Let's watch this.
Posted to social media on Sunday, a carload of white boys with their faces blackened are seen and heard joking with each other at a fast food drive-thru. One of the teens is in a school sweatshirt. Although there has been an apology and a claim of not knowing what blackface meant, there is disappointment and outrage.
See, maybe I don't understand it. You can call it white privilege or you can call it whatever you want. I'm white and I'm old. And so people will say, oh, you have white privilege. No, I don't. There's no such thing as white privilege. What I have is the understanding that every single human being on the face of this earth is different from every other human being on the face of this earth. We may have the same opinions, the same likes and dislikes, but that doesn't mean that I have to look at you and judge you for anything. Anything. Now, the boys that pulled that prank, whether they realized it or not, all it did was made them look foolish, stupid. In fact, when I saw it, I thought they were mimicking Muslims because of the way the beard was on the face. And, you know, really, if the Muslim religion was actually a religion, and they were actually looking for peace, they would be able to look at that, or look at anyone, and say, well, you believe what you believe, and I believe what I believe. That's fine. Let's get along on this earth. Let's be at peace with one another. Let's let things just go by. But the Muslims, they want to have war, violence. Most European countries anymore are saying no. Nordic countries are saying no, we don't want you. If you don't uncover your face, women, we don't want you because we don't know who you are. And they're hiding behind the Quran, which in my definition book, Quran means word of evil. Muhammad means man of evil. The whole thing is evil. In fact, I looked it up. The Quran was written after Jesus had been crucified, raised again, and went back to heaven to be with the Father. And Muhammad wants to say that the Quran was given to him by Allah, God, their God. If it was written prior to or at the same time as the Old Testament was being written, that would be a little bit more believable. But after the Bible was written, after Muhammad had a chance to read the scrolls, because back then all they had was scrolls, and make an opinion of what he had read and become violent against it, he came up with the Quran, which basically, some parts of the Quran, if you've read any of it, it seems like Muhammad was on heroin or some form of a hallucinogenic drug when he was writing this stuff. His life tells a psychopath, pedophilia. He was psychologically unstable in his life. And yet, because man is so gullible, so easily manipulated by words, you don't have to see it, just the words. The words, and there you go. There's our religion, words. And when we pray to a box, and we have to go there to Mecca to see the box and kiss the rock. You got to kiss the rock when you're there. What kind of religion is that? Seriously. That's what the Muslims believe in. That the insane, psychotic writings of a lunatic are gospel. No, it's not. And in everything we do, we have to be careful on the decisions we make. Because you could do something, and that'll throw a wrench right into gears. Life stops until you get that fixed. And then you can go on. Sometimes it'll make you mad. Sometimes it'll make you sad. Sometimes it'll just drive you nuts. And if you remember what you did to cause this, you won't do it again. But if you don't remember, you'll do it again. History repeats itself. All right, today in history, the U.S. went to its first foreign war with the Barbary Pirates of Tripoli. And if you know the Marine Corps hymn, Tripoli is mentioned in the first verse. I thank you for watching. Please pray for the president, the leadership of this country, that God will be with them, guiding them to lead this country. Pray for the military, first responders, and such as that God will protect them. Pray for our enemies, that their eyes will be open to the truth. That God is merciful. God is awesome. I'm William Ferguson. This is Common Sense.